Holy smokes, guys, it ain't no joke. It's that time of the year again where you gotta hide your wives, you gotta put your kids to sleep because we got some new Call of Duty 2020 stuff. And what else can I say, guys? Like, it's another year, another Call of Duty, and the information that we're getting is actually pretty dope, though. We got a lot of people coming back. We got that Victor, that Chinese mofo. He came back, apparently. I'm not sure for how long you have been in the joint, but if you have been in the joint for a little bit, you know who that Victor guy is, right? So, he is back. We got the Gaming Revolution right hand message me. We got some zombies news. We also have news regarding Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer, and needless to say, that's a little bit of a doozy. It's not looking good for it. I want to talk about that in depth in just a little bit. And I want to keep this video Call of Duty only. I will talk about the other gaming news stuff in the next video. But we got a lot to go over. And let's just get right into it. As always, I do everything about Call of Duty and gaming news. If a chat like you is into that, then subscribe. And our first story comes from David Vonderhaar. Guess who showed up last night at 10:42 p.m. and you know, you can see a ton of astronauts and a ton of scientists were caught spitting facts, right? And Skizalak says the following: yeet, hype for Call of Duty 2020. So this guy's always hype, right? Like, F this guy. Smash the like button if you agree. And then we got Dr. Enib out here who says that, which means you will make at least 5 awesome Call of Duty games. So needless to say, everywhere I go, right? And people are hyped, and you know, people assuming that he was gonna quit and this and that. I know that there are a ton of people who thought that he quit or got fired. This guy is the type of guy to tell his class that they got homework to turn in, even thought that he was fired. But I personally never took that, hey, I'm told to disconnect from Call of Duty. I always thought that he was taking a break, and admittedly, he was taking a break because he says that apparently I've been back at Activision for 15 years. That's kind of cool. I worked with many Treyarch and Activision people for over a decade. Thanks for all the fun and even the unfun times he's referring to those days. You are family to me. 15 more years. Let's go. Smash the like button if you're pumped for David Vonderhaar coming back, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta say this, he was the guy behind making Black Ops 2 campaign, Black Ops 2 zombies, and even Black Ops 2 multiplayer, right? And needless to say, every time you would hear orbital reset ready for deployment, it definitely gave people those spikes of dopamine, right? So I am pumped that this man is back. Obviously, he also made Blackout, and Blackout was the highlight of Black Ops 4 in my opinion. So seeing him come back, I'm actually excited about it. And also, Charlinto says that Call of Duty 2020 title is still set to launch this fall. And one of my guys who works at Activision, I've been saying this for a while, but I always add the following: that hey, I my subconscious don't want to believe the story because everyone is saying that it's gonna get delayed. But now even Jason Schrier is saying that Call of Duty 2020 is not gonna be delayed. And my source actually hit me up in the DMs and was like, oh, I told you so. But also, you don't want to let your dogs out, guys, because this is what Jason Schrier said. As of right now, it's still planned for fall, but nobody knows what's going to happen in the coming months. Obviously, he's referring to that Roni Rona situation. Roni Rona ain't no joke, guys. Like, it can definitely cause major delays. It can cancel games, but knowing the facial expressions Activision makes, I mean, it's pretty hard for me to believe that they're gonna delay it, right? They're definitely gonna juice it up. They're definitely gonna moisturize each other balls and make sure they feel eyed to release Call of Duty 2020. And listen, I am excited about the game, but I definitely don't want to let my dogs out this early because, you know, when you let your dogs out, bad things happen, right? But it's looking like that they are getting ready to announce this game because we got a ton of stuff coming out. Jason Schrier says this because RD Joker was like, do you think, no, if it's still going to be part of the Black Ops series then? And he says that I'm not a Call of Duty person, so I don't know anything about the lore, shenanigans, or what it really means to be a Black Ops game. But one title I've heard thrown around a couple of times is just Call of Duty Vietnam. He says that I don't think it's a reboot. Yeah, it can be Call W Vietnam. Obviously, I can't say those words on YouTube. I apologize, guys. He says that it's still gonna be that, but he says that he don't think it's gonna be a reboot. And we also got that Chinese mofo that I wanna talk about in just a little bit. And you know what? I'm kind of doing my calculations, right? Because if this is not a reboot, is it gonna continue the series? Because that's kind of like what I'm getting from this post. And obviously the Gaming Revolution, DK Dynamite, the Gaming Revolution right hand has been saying that it's gonna be Black Ops reboot. We have been hearing that, right? But if it's not gonna be a reboot, it could be that Jason Schrier do not know much about Call of Duty. I mean, he says that like he is not a Call of Duty personnel, so maybe he is assuming that part based on the information he heard. I'm not saying Jason Schrier is wrong here. Jason Schrier credibility just so high, right? Just so high. But if it's not a reboot and it's something that's gonna continue the storyline, knowing the fact that it's gonna go back to the Vietnam era, I really think that it's gonna be something that's gonna be pre-Black Ops 1. Maybe some missions are gonna be set between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. And are we gonna see Reznov? I hope we do, man. And we're probably gonna see young Franklins, young Mason, and maybe that's why the original Frank Wood's voice actor wasn't called in, because that's kind of like what we have been hearing, that Frank Wood's voice actor wasn't called by Activision and he's not going to be voice acting for this upcoming Treyarch game. Maybe they're looking for a young voice actor that can, I mean, a lot of theories, but we got the Victor, the Chinese mofo. You guys got to follow this man, because this man was spitting gospel last year as well. And he's back. Everybody say ni hao in the comments below. And obviously he speaks a Chinese, and Google translation definitely blessed me up and blessed up everybody. And everybody went ham. And the funny part is that no need to ask me for specific information. I can't disclose. And all the scientists, all the astronauts went in. So I definitely want to read all of that to you as well. He says that the plot description of the campaign is similar to the Black Ops series. The multiplayer is also similar to the previous Call of Duty. Does he mean it's gonna have skill-based matchmaking like Modern Warfare? Most likely yes, guys. I'm kind of sad about it, but you know what I'm sad about no longer is zombies. Zombies coming back, and that's all what I need, guys. Smash the like button if you're hyped for zombies. But I'm pretty certain that multiplayer is gonna be fun too. We're talking about Treyarch, guys. Like Black Ops 4, that was a one-off thing, right? But Treyarch is back, baby, and says that zombies has some new ways of playing. It suits me very well. I don't like finding eggs in the map. So what he's saying here is that basically that's like the vibe I'm getting. Obviously, I don't speak a Chinese. If you speak Chinese, definitely let me know in the comments below, because this is just a translation, and the vibe that I'm getting from his post is that the gameplay is gonna be good. It suits him very well, and he doesn't like finding Easter eggs, so it suits him well this way. And I personally don't mind the Easter eggs. I personally feel like that a map like the Rise and Wrath is perfect, where if you want to do the Easter eggs, you can, and if you don't want to do the Easter egg, you just want to go for high rounds, there is just plenty of content and plenty of replayability in that map to this day. I would absolutely love maps like Black Ops 2 Zombies, and even maps like the Rise and Wrath. I just don't like watching 2 hours tutorial on YouTube learning books. That's just not me. Even though I love zombies to the point where I want to learn about the story, I want the story to be present, but Easter eggs that are like Blood of the Dead Easter eggs that are like Revelation, where you gotta find like each bones, I mean, give me a break. I'm just too old for that. And I recently watched a video from The Gaming Revolution and DK Dynamite, and their source is saying that zombies maps are gonna be really big this time, and personally I think that's a good thing. I want bigger maps as long as we have good traveling mechanics. You know what, expand on those traveling mechanics that we've seen in the Rise and the Wrath. And obviously homies were asking him question regardless, and he was saying that the information I got so far makes me not very much interested in Call of Duty 2020, so I did not ask about the game announcement. I mean, what do you mean? I wouldn't take this as like, hey, it's gonna be a no bueno. It can certainly be a no bueno, and that's what I'm saying. Hey guys, don't let your dogs out. But the thing is that it's all about perspective, guys. Some people like Modern Warfare and other people hate Modern Warfare, right? So I'm pretty certain that if he is not liking the game, that doesn't mean it's bad. Maybe he got a different taste. That's probably what's up. So definitely stay hopeful, but certainly don't let your dogs out. Then Daniel was like, much appreciated for the info, sir. Any information on the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer? And I gotta click on the translation tweet, and says, I know, I just asked for some Call of Duty 2020 information. And I want to bridge this topic with that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer news. First of all, this is what Charlie Intel says. Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remaster release first on PS4 because Sony asked for and funded its release. I mean, damn. And homie saying thanks Sony. Dr. Ine was also caught spitting facts and was like, hey, thank you Sony. So needless to say, like, this was funded by Sony, and that's a major plot twist, right? I never thought about that, because that's the reason why Sony PlayStation 4 got it 30 days early, because they were the guys behind, you know what, let's give Activision what they love, and that's money, my friend. So they gave them money, fresh pairs of Benjamins, and when they saw those Benjis, they were like, okay, so it's time to remaster a campaign. But this is what the Gaming Revolution right hand says, and the Gaming Revolution Twitter account has been shut down, and so that's why the Gaming Revolution right hand actually messaged me. I really want to see the Gaming Revolution make a new Twitter account. Smash the like button if you want to see him come back. But this is what the Gaming Revolution source told me, and I've spoken with this guy before as well, but he says that Activision needs to decide whether they can get more money and engagement for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer or Modern Warfare. I see a lot of people just saying that, oh, just release it and we will decide. He says we can't do that. What people have to understand there is that there is a classic Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. If that was to launch and people hated it, if people hated it so much, the sales would go down. Think about it. Imagine remastering the best Call of Duty game there was and it was hated so much, the community would lose support for the upcoming titles. On the other hand, people really want it, but the new guys, which is a ton of people, may hate the old Modern Warfare 2, so then you get bad reviews. Activision is thinking of just leaving this masterpiece untouched multiplayer wise because it could steer direction of sales for the next Call of Duty game. People would have no hope for all upcoming titles in Call of Duty series if they, I can't say that word on YouTube, the best Call of Duty game of all. And he also says that, but it is still currently being worked on. And my source is also telling me, and I talked about it previously as well, that my source that works at Activision, who also told me that Call of Duty 2020 so far is not getting delayed. They say that like it is still in the works. And recently my man TC Shieldmaster put up this tweet, and in this picture you can see that Activision support is no longer saying Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. They're just simply calling it Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. A lot of people are thinking it's a hint, and I see why people are seeing this as a hint, but I personally don't feel that way. But it can surely be a hint, and I really hope it's a hint. I want to see multiplayer come out by the end of April or early May, but I just don't think that we're gonna get it this early, guys, right? Even though this feels like a hint because now they're just mentioning it as Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, I certainly don't think that we're gonna have Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer this early. It can still happen, and I really hope it happens, but knowing the fact that May is gonna be that month for them to hype up the next Call of Duty game, I just don't think so. Maybe in June or July, or maybe like early next year, I can see then. But needless to say, as soon as I hear anything more, I'll keep you stud muffins in the loop. So definitely like and subscribe, check out the video on the screen, and I appreciate you massively for coming on as always, and I will see you in the next one.